welcome to the newest episode of Falling Upwards. This is coming from a very grey and rainy south of England, at least on my part.
Really?
It is, but as you've heard, our very sunny co-host, Maddie Armstrong, is here. Is it grey and rainy where you are?
It's like 30 degrees. I am... Oh, wait, that's mad news. Shall we go to mad news already?
We can jump straight to mad news.
I got up at 5 a.m. today to go and shoot the sunrise over this area in Yorkshire called Ilkley Moor.
Right.
With all the heather, because it's heather season.
Were you just voluntarily?
Yeah. I had to get my dad to get up early because I don't drive, so he had to drive me, and he wasn't that thrilled about it. But I was like, I want to do this photography venture. I want to get some more photos for my next exhibition. So, come on, let's get out.
You woke up at 5 a.m. voluntarily.
Actually, correction, I
Oh no.
never went to bed before that.
So you just I was going to use a term that we cannot use on the age rating of this podcast. You just went for it.
Yeah. And then I went to bed when I got home. So I've had like a little siesta.
Right. Okay. That's very intense. That's quite nice. That's a nice mad news.
Look, there's so much you can do in post, and I want to really color this sky. It is sunrise. It is very dappled. Wait, you can't really see that. Maybe I'll send that to you. You know, the clouds are very dappled, but there's so much that you can do in post because there's so much potential in a photo you take. As long as you get the setup right, you get the composition right.
Right.
Color is all up to you in post.
So for Maddie's very calm, nice mad news, mine will be, I keep hearing that people are getting attacked and pushed and shoved just to get Labubus. Please don't do that. I've seen people having their car windshields broken into, or like having stuff cut off their bags. Please, you can just like, even for an exclusive, just wait, or I don't know. Like, I know both of us are quite lucky. We both live near cities that have a pop mart where you can go and buy a Labubu in person, and not everybody is that lucky. But please don't damage other people's property for a Labubu.
I can't believe it's got so big. Like when Emma brought Labubus to the exchange on last season, I'd never heard of it. And like months later, suddenly it's huge here.
That was back in the day when you could still walk into a shop and actually pick up a Labubu. Now, if you go to the stores in London, one, there's like a proper like raffle system, and then two, I think they're all like put in the back, and then you have to show, okay, I cleared the raffle, I've been selected to pick one up, and then they'll give you one and you can buy it, which is still wild. Wild.
I've seen videos on like Twitter of K-pop idols at send-offs of their shows being asked to unwrap the mystery Labubu or something, and it's like this whole big thing. It's crazy.
I do think we've got to this toy boom where people are just loving getting, like, in this economic climate and in this political climate, like, those toys are very comforting to people. Like, there's I think it's Shaftesbury Avenue, there's a pop mart right next to a Miniso, and every time I go past, because obviously both shops do blind boxes, every time I go past, queues. Every time I go past, queues. Unless it's like very late in the day, in which case no queues. But then, like, I was in Selfridges, and they have like the big Jellycat installation, which is also blown up. If you want to, they do like, it's like a fish and chip shop thing, and they're like exclusive fish and chip shop based toys, and they'll like wrap it in like fish and chip shop newspaper for you and all those things, right?
That is so cute.
3 hour wait. If you go, it says on the board, I'm sure there are some times of the day where maybe it's a little bit quicker. If you go past the board, it genuinely says from this point in the queue, there's a 3-hour wait. 3 hours! They're very cute. They're adorable. Absolutely adorable. But also, what?
Can't you just order it online?
No.
You can't get them online?
Like, these exclusives, you have to go into store and, like, pick them up and have the whole experience. So you either book or you can just jump into the queue, but then it's a 3-hour wait. 3 hours! Man!
I mean, I've got this guy above my bed that watches down on me, and that sounds so weird. What I mean is I've got this tiny little... He's like a weasel. He's not really a teddy bear. And he has his own little bed, and he sits atop of my mirror that's like opposite my bed, and he just looks down on me and smiles at me. So I get the like little cute little weaselly fluffy thing, you know? That's we all need that for comfort.
But it's cute. Like, I will say, whenever I'm working and I just want something nice in the background, I will put on blind box unboxing videos. And it's just cute. It's like, you know, like in Christmas and you're really excited, and then you open and you don't know what it is, and you're like, oh my God, I've got this one. I think it's that anticipation and that joy, and it's a cute thing. And it's just like,
people always like the mystery.
Woo! But like I showed Mads before we started, I have a Farmer Bob chicken here. It's my good vibes chicken. It's a farmer in a chicken costume.
But that concerns me, because like, is that one of his chickens?
No, like in the whole series is him in different like different animal costumes.
Okay.
And then I have here the Mickey in the clouds. Just for anyone's listening, we're waiting on our guests to arrive, so this is why we're going through this in detail. This is Mickey looking like a cloud. I think they're taking over the world. I saw the other day that, you know, Mattel that own Barbie and like all those other toys, Pop Mart that own Labubu and some other IPs have overtaken them in terms of their company valuation.
That is insane.
Right? Never in my... I was like, what?
That almost kind of makes me a bit sad. Like, Barbie?
Right? I'm like, that's surely one of the biggest toy brands of all time.
And then like a little Labubu rascal just comes and takes the trophy in like a few months. That's crazy.
I'll read this out. So in 2025, Pop Mart's valuation has exceeded the combined value of... Actually, okay, this is wilder. So Hasbro, do you know who Hasbro are? So they've overtaken...
Yeah.
Mattel, Hasbro, and Sanrio, the home of Hello Kitty, combined.
No
Isn't
way.
that insane?
Hi,
how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Not too bad. Thank you for coming on. We're very excited to have you here.
No, thanks for having us. I think Jay's on his way as well.
Are you a fan of Labubus, Joe?
I've heard the word. I've heard that people are interested in the word. I couldn't really tell you what it is or why it's become such a popular word. So
that's good. Stay disconnected.
Is it this little toy of sorts?
Yeah, it's like it's like this size.
Okay.
And it looks like a rabbit with teeth.
Okay.
They're kind of ugly, but they've just...
Why has it become such a popular thing?
Hey, Jay!
Hi!
Sorry I'm a bit late. It's just been a bit manic, and let me just sort my camera out as well. It's filthy.
Disgusting.
I know, it is disgusting. Sorry.
Are you familiar with Labubus, Jay?
The what, sorry?
Labubus.
I don't know if it's the connection or... What, I don't want to say it out loud.
No.
What did you say? Say it again.
Spell it.
Labubu.
Labubu. Oh, right. I thought you said something completely different then that we don't need to go into. No, I'm not. Should I be?
Come on, Jay.
Labubu.
I mean, who isn't?
No, because Matt, as we were waiting for you both, we were discussing this today because they're this massive toy phenomenon.
Yeah.
And in our kind of Mad News segment, as we usually do, the company that owns them, called Pop Mart, their valuation has exceeded Mattel, Hasbro, and Sanrio combined.
Wow.
Just off these Labubus.
And
Mattel, who's done Barbie for...
What age are they for? Are they for all ages or...?
Anyone,
Right, okay.
anyone, yeah.
No.
And like I think like people have been like breaking into people's cars to get them.
It's not
Is there
one of
loads
like,
of
those,
stabbing
different
people.
sort of special edition, different rarity ones and stuff?
Yeah,
It's got
they're
an
like blind
element of...
boxes. Do you know what blind boxes are? Like blind boxes?
No. See, I knew what a Labubu was, but now you've pushed me too far. I don't know what this is.
They're like, it's like a random, you like go in and you get the box and it could be one of like 6 or 7 varieties,
Right.
and then you open it and you see what you might get, and it's like, woo, it's a surprise. But it's like,
Okay.
it's every time, I was saying Mads, every time I'm at the store in London, queues for like half an hour to an hour.
I'm surprised. My
Really?
kids haven't got on to me about this yet.
Have they not?
So no, which is they must be slacking. I don't know what's going on, because usually
They've just opened a big store in
Oh,
Manchester.
yeah, that'll be it. I'll be doomed. I'll be getting mithered for Labubus. You ask me that again in a week, I'll be sick of hearing about it.
Well, I can finally introduce you both. So we have the wonderful Joe Smith and Jay Motty from Stretford Paddock here today. It is such a delight to have you both. Something that we were really excited about when it came to having you both on is I love my football. Maddie knows nothing about football. Every so often, to irritate me, she tells me that she always says Man City. I'm like, why would you say Man City? She always says she'll support Man City, but that's like the extent of things.
I mean, I don't know anything about football, but yeah, I just have this drawnness to Man City. I just think they're the one to go for.
To be fair, that is like a typical City fan. Don't know anything about football, just support City. That's kind of how it goes down, to be honest with you.
Well played.
Something I was telling Mads is obviously this time in the year, even though it's not, the season hasn't started, you both are busy because of all the transfer activity, all the pre-season. How has that been going for you both?
Joe, do you want to?
Oh yeah, I mean it is very busy. We in the summer, obviously, Maddie, you might not know this, but I'm sure Amy, you do. That's when players and teams can sign different players. So players will move from one club to the other, and that's only during the summer. So obviously, when United are doing that, that is a very busy time for us, following Manchester United all the time. New players coming in, players being sold. Sometimes that, people sort of kicking off because the player that they like has been sold, or a player that they like has come in. That's all very exciting. Then to add on top of that, you've got the pre-season where they play friendlies to get ready for the season. We were out in America. We got back a week ago. We're out there for a couple of weeks following Manchester United playing those games. So that was all very exciting, having to make content and do videos and meet people and all that sort of stuff in different cities and taking everything with us. So yeah, it's weirdly, even though it's the sort of the off season, as they say in America, it's more on than pretty much any other time of the year. So it's exciting because it's fun, but then weirdly you don't have any big games to talk about. So yeah, it's a strange dynamic.
Yeah, I was saying to Mads, a highlight of our evenings at home is watching you both do the transfer roundup with those amazing puns that come up every time. It's like a chocolate box. You don't know what's going to pop up.
Yeah, we don't either. That's the thing about it. We don't know, because you can probably tell from our reactions, because sometimes we're like laughing hysterically and other times I'm, just beside myself with what I'm having to read out or what Joe's having to read out. So yeah, we enjoy that. It's like Joe said, obviously transfer is such a big part of the summer for us, and you have that optimism as well in the summer because the season's not started and you're looking forward to it and there's all this hope, and especially as we've seen this summer, Manchester United have brought a load of new players. So yeah, it tends to be a pretty positive time. It's not until the football starts and United start losing that everything sort of goes downhill.
Something Mad says to me often, because she knows how much I love my sport and my football, is with all the coverage she does of K-pop and of music, she always goes, I feel like K-pop fan bases are very similar to football fan bases. It's just completely different energy. I mean, do you want to expand on that, Mads, to go into it?
I mean, it's crazy, like the amount that people go wild at these concerts. Especially for K-pop, people will queue for hours. They're screaming their lungs out. But it's sort of like this similar dynamic at games, right? It's the same thing. It's that same fervor for the game, and I actually think that's quite a beautiful thing. Like it's different communities, but when it's that thing that's yours, that you're really passionate about, you can just let loose. Anyone's capable of it.
Yeah, I mean that I'll be honest with you, I've not got a lot of experience around K-pop, but from what you said,
don't lie, Jay. Come on.
Well, do you know what? Right, I'm a bit actually. I'm doing myself a disservice there. I am an expert because my kids were watching. Is it K-pop Demon Hunter film?
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, the other day.
So
huge
good.
now.
I am actually well versed in K-pop culture. I'm actually I'm the go-to guy for K-pop stuff. But no.
Wow, you might know more than us now.
But you're right. I mean, look, if it's something you're passionate about, something you love, something that you sort of is a big part of your life and a big part of your hobbies or whatever, then yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think for us as Manchester United fans, this isn't, obviously we run the channel and we do stuff on the channel, but the reason we do it is because we're so passionate about United and we're fans first and foremost. That's what led us to doing this, not the other way around. It wasn't like we decided to become Manchester United fans once we started doing a podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, whenever I see the K-pop stuff on socials, there is a lot of that. It does remind me of that, people who are just so passionate and dedicated to something, whether that's K-pop, whether that's Manchester United, whether that's another sport or whatever. There's definitely that energy and that sort of, just that enthusiasm and how it can almost, in some respects take over your life at times.
Yeah. I think people need that as well, personally. Sorry to interrupt. I think people and this is obviously a slightly ridiculous thing to say, but there's nothing else in my life other than football that will make me literally scream at the top of my lungs with emotion. Like I'm not someone that likes arguing too much. I'm not someone that gets in fights. I'm not someone, and yet I'll be at a United game or even just watching it on TV, and I'm giving 100% volume, emotion, energy. You think it's nice to let that out sometimes. It's nice to have a vehicle for that. And I think if that's music or sport or whatever it is, having something where you can be just 100% give into the emotion of something. It's not that often that you actually get to do that. So I think it is like a healthy thing and something that is good for people to have, regardless of sort of what the founding kind of event or whatever it is that brings that. I think it's really good.
Can I ask then, Maddie, is there where with United, obviously a big part of being a supporter is rivalry and stuff like that? And sort of, is there that rivalry in the K-pop world? Do you?
Oh yeah.
Do you have
Oh yeah.
There's certain K-pop fans that you can't stand and you will, you hate them.
Well, I won't name any names on the podcast, but there are certain fans that are just, they are crazy. Yeah, for sure.
Really?
There's certain corners of the fandoms that's quite toxic. There's what's called fan wars. I'm sure you've heard of the band BTS, who are absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And anyone that's been big enough to sort of rival them, the fandoms are they're almost bigger than the boys themselves. They're giants, and they will just tear each other apart.
Yeah.
And it almost feels reminiscent of what I see between fans of different, football clubs. But
Yeah.
maybe you would be able to provide more insight into that.
No, there's definitely. So I'm just curious. Do K-pop fans sometimes meet up for fights, like football fans?
In the 70s they did, Jay, but as the years have gone on,
Personally.
it's got a little bit more civilized. Yeah.
Let's have it.
police
There
really
have
crack
been
down on
fights,
it.
yeah.
It's all on Twitter. You can genuinely go to the cesspits of Twitter, and it will be back and forth because it's everything. Everything is online.
Yeah.
With sorry, I don't really know anything about K-pop other than sort of the very rough outline of what it even means. Is there are there rival bands? Does that exist? Are there bands that if you like this band, you can't like this band, or and how do these bands come about? Are they made by sort of organisations and companies, or are they girls or guys that met at the pub and wanted to start a band?
See you later, brother.
They're rival
maybe...
companies.
Are they?
They're rival
Jay's
companies,
gone.
isn't it?
Jay's gone to. He's got a delivery of some K-pop albums that he's ordered, so he'll be back in a minute. I'm sure.
I see. He's gonna do the unboxing.
Yeah, there are rival companies, and sometimes you'll get fans that will support the companies, not just the groups within the company.
They're called company stands.
That's great.
It's wild.
So what is it that they would like?
So that would be if a fan of Man City supported all the football clubs in the City group.
Okay, yeah. And, so they're a big New York City FC fan or whoever they've got Genoa. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then
so you get people that are fans of BTS, and then they'll support all the other bands within the company, and you can see companies try to put out groups that compete with each other.
Yeah, it's never an official by the company, oh, this is the rival. It's always sort of by the fans. But if they're a group that's so big, I remember an era where this group called EXO was so big that they rivaled BTS, and it was sort of if you're a BTS fan, you had to dislike EXO. Like genuinely.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked both, but I definitely felt that as I was like getting into BTS back in 2017. Yeah, it's
like if you went to a BTS concert with an EXO light stick, you might
be shot.
might have problems.
This is
genuine problems.
I didn't realise it was so cutthroat. I didn't realise it was this
Yeah.
ruthless. It really is like football.
That'd be like if you showed up to like, I don't know, a City game in a United shirt.
Yeah. Wow.
And then you'd get into fights because people would be like, why is a United fan in the middle of a City crowd?
Yeah. That's amazing.
It'll be like that. What are both of your favourite rivalries in football? They don't have to be United rivalries, just favourite rivalries.
That's good. Go on, Jay.
I suppose the biggest rivalry, I don't know my favourite, but the biggest one is probably Liverpool, United-Liverpool. I think that's one that I've grown up with. And it also, I know this sounds a bit sort of daft, but it's a little bit bigger than just the football. It's always been like the culture, the fact you've got two cities that are near each other that have even competed economically for the same sort of jobs and stuff like that. And there's that culture, music. You'll have like, obviously, Scousers will say the Beatles are the greatest band. You'll have Mancunians who say it's, the Oasis or the Stone Roses or the Smiths, whatever. So it just feels a little bit more deeper than just the football. And obviously, they're the two most successful teams in English football, the two biggest teams in English football. And we've both had our eras as well. When I was a kid, Liverpool winning everything. And then when I got into my teens, United started winning everything. More recently, Liverpool just caught us up on titles. So that for me feels like, whenever the fixtures come out, the one that I always look for the first is Liverpool when we were playing in the Scousers. But United got loads of rivals, but for me, that feels like certainly the biggest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, obviously for United, I would say Liverpool for sure. I think as a personal rivalry, Langold Juniors versus East Midlands United. They were the team I played for Langold Juniors as a kid. And East Midlands United, or Emus as they were called at the time.
Off, didn't it?
It went off because we all went to school with them. They went to school with us. We were playing on near the Kilton golf course. The pitch is on a slope like that. Oh, the rivalry was insane. Under 10s popping off, and I scored.
Wow.
I scored a goal against them in the cup when we beat them. So in terms of
I heard about that.
utter vitriol and hatred, it has to be Langold Juniors under 10s versus Emus under 10s. What a game! What a day! So what a game! Unbelievable.
Something Mads and I have paralleled with football often as well is kind of the expectation in terms of how footballers behave like off the pitch versus on the pitch. And like say in a lot of media, especially in a lot of Asian media that Maddie covers, there's so much expectation and pressure on these people to be just absolutely perfect. Like you can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't date people. If not, fans will find out where you live. Do you think that's changed in football with players? When you look back in like the 90s, you had players kind of go out, they drink, they do whatever. Whereas today, there's a very different kind of expectation, I feel. Do you both feel that? Have you seen that change, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to watch players. I remember my dad used to tell me about bumping into players in the pub and in nightclubs and stuff. They were much more accessible, and there was some of them that probably drank too much. I think that was a famous thing about United, especially in the 80s and perhaps the early 90s certainly the late 80s until Sir Alex Ferguson came in and changed it all. So I do sympathise a little bit when I see players, some of the stick they get nowadays, because I think some of it is almost trivial. Like, I've seen players getting stick for what they wear. And I'm a middle-aged man, and so I don't like to judge what an 18 or 19-year-old lad is wearing, because to me that would probably look daft, but to other people that age, it's probably not that bad. And I also think, does it matter what clothes they're wearing? Does it matter if they're doing certain things? A lot of the younger footballers as well don't even tend to drink, so they might go out and stuff, but are they actually drinking? I know some do. So I do feel they get treated a little bit more harshly, and I do feel that social media now is a bigger thing because, back in the day, and we've spoken to a lot of ex-players who admit they used to get away with things to a certain degree because people weren't filming you on the phone and posting it on social media because that didn't exist. Whereas now, if you're a footballer, you could go out shopping, you could have, do something relatively innocuous, and people will be filming it, taking photos, posting it on social media, judging you on certain things. So whilst I think footballers should behave in a certain way, I'm not saying that they're not beyond reproach, I do feel that nowadays they are judged quite harshly. And I think some of the things and the stories, in particular newspaper stories I see about footballers, are so ridiculous And it's like, you see it, and it's almost like judging how they've spent the money, criticising them for having spent the money. And I think footballers earn astronomical wages. If they want to go out and buy a nice car or a nice house, or we've seen footballers in the past being criticised for buying their mum a house or things like that. You're like, what even are you on about? So I do feel a little bit of sympathy towards the modern day footballer. I know the rewards are massive. I'm not saying we should all feel sorry for them because they've got such a horrible life, but when you see some of the reaction you get and the trolling they'll get as well, some of it to me just seems completely unnecessary.
And I agree with what Jay said there in terms of the way that they're treating stuff. And the thing that really I think is a little bit, well, not a little bit, it's massively hypocritical, is when you'll get ex-players that were doing all of the things that they are now criticising this generation for. And I think, well, I was on TalkSport a couple of months ago. They were talking about Marcus Rashford, and there's a couple of ex-Premier League players in there. And they were talking about, this was before Rashford, I think, had gone on loan to Villa, so 6 or 8 months ago, whenever it was. And they were saying, what do you make of what Rashford did and going out and all this and not working and training? And I sort of said, like, obviously it's not good and you want someone to turn up every week and all that. But I said to them, I think one of them said in the question to me, we would do that sort of thing, but you can't get away with that now. I said, how do you expect people who have got all the same sort of, people are drawing you out, people are kind of pulling you to nightclubs or pulling you to this, that, and the other, and yet they're expected to have this willpower that you lot didn't have. These other players didn't have it. You're meant to be higher and mightier than players when you're actually earning more than they were. You've got more expendable cash, more. You could do even more with that money, and you're expected to do less and less and less with it. I think, that isn't easy. And I think, especially when, like Jay said before, some of these lads are 18, 19 years old with 100 grand a week to spend. Yeah, that's an amazing privilege, and I don't feel sorry for them. But it's not that easy to navigate that world, especially when you've got players who equally found it as difficult as you did, or maybe harder, telling you have to be better than they ever were. That, to me, is a little bit unfair, I think.
It's like, even when you're not doing your job, you've still got to do your job. I feel like it's the same with this. It's like 24-hour, just being this perfect person, being what everyone else is wanting you to be. And I think if you're training so hard from a young age, in sport, in music, in whatever you're doing, and you're putting your whole soul into like chasing your dream, doing what you want to do, when you get there, you should be allowed to be you, like a human, to actually enjoy the fact that you got to where you wanted to be, and not forced to sort of like just put yourself in a box and obey whatever the fans want. I feel like you should just let loose, celebrate, go to them parties. Like even in K-pop, like they're not really allowed to party. Like when they get spotted going to the club or something, or drinking, or doing anything that any normal young adult should be doing, it's like a massive witch hunt against them online when they get spotted. It is insane.
Yeah.
What's the sort of career length of a sort of K-pop star? Is this because I don't see many 60-year-old K-pop stars? Do you know what I mean? You see the Rolling Stones are still doing gigs.
Well, it's not been around long enough for that.
Okay, all right. So is it a young person's thing though, or do you think there will be 40, 50, 60-year-olds?
The standard contract is 7 years, and then you can renew after 7 years. So you it's always interesting to see like which idols are kind of like, okay, I'm dipping out, or I'm gonna choose to kind of go my own way after that, and which ones were clearly happy enough to keep on going. Because some start at like 14, don't they?
Yeah.
So by the time they finish, it's like you can have a whole other life if you want to.
How long is like a career life of footballers then? Is that quite similar?
You're not far off, to be honest. You sign your first professional contract at anywhere between 16 and 18, usually, as you come through the academy, depending on how good you are, how desperate they are to get you in the first team. Then almost every player is done by about 36. Occasionally you'll get anomalies. Goalkeepers can play a bit longer. Ronaldo's 40 and he's still playing international football. Every time Portugal play, he starts from. But typically, it's about an 18 to 36 is about as good as you're going to get, really.
Wow.
Do you both feel that social media has, like, over the life of you, like, you've both been doing this for so long, Do you feel that social media has made it better or worse?
Mm.
Like, say through your Instagram channels, it's so cool seeing what the Paddock does, like beyond just what you're doing on YouTube. But obviously, there must be pitfalls that has changed the industry rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think social media has been a positive, especially for fans abroad. You know, you're a fan that's not necessarily based in Manchester, but you're as passionate a Manchester United fan as me or Joe are, and I think that enables a little bit of more of that connection with the team and the club at times for fans that perhaps don't get to go to the games or aren't as close to the club as they want to be. I do get there's pitfalls, and I do get, you can have like players getting trolled or whatever, but when I was a kid, the only way you had any engagement with a player was if you went down to the training ground and waited in the car park and spoke to them, physically spoke to them and got a picture of them. Where now you can have interactions on social media, you can see what they're doing. The club will always put out content, we put out content. So I think overall it's been a big positive. I think like anything though, there's always going to be a negative side to it. And at times it can be quite brutal, and it can be, when we've seen players getting absolutely hammered on social media. I think you mentioned Marcus Rashford earlier. I think at one point, I think he was one of the most abused players in the world, sports people in the world. And you think that why, really? What has he done that is so egregious that makes him being like one of the most almost hated people on the planet? It's absolutely insane. So there is a downside to it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's all, lovely and sunshine and rainbows, but I think on the whole, social media for me, having watched it from before it even existed, watching it to sort of becoming so prevalent now, I think it is a positive. And we were over in the States interacting with fans who, some of whom I've spoken to on social media, some of whom have followed the club via social media almost exclusively, some of who have had that connection to Manchester United or connection to being a United fan, sometimes with us or with other fans who do content. And social media has played a big part of that. And I think that when you see that and you see what it means to them, and I always try and respond when people do reach out to us on social media, I think that is a sort of almost a heartwarming thing. So for as many pitfalls and negatives you can get with social media, for me personally, I think the positives far outweigh that.
Yeah, I think Jay's frozen a little bit there. I think the like Jay said there about when we see people who go out to different countries and you see how they have been able to change the way they are a fan. Basically, it's not just a case of, if I don't go over to England and watch Manchester United, then I don't really have a way to be a fan. And obviously you're a fan regardless, but there's so many more avenues that you can, you can get your opinion across. You can hear other people's opinions. I think as well that, people that do the sort of work we do in terms of, fan content and stuff like that, 20 years ago, other than, maybe writing into a newspaper or doing a phone in on the radio, there was no real way for fans to get their voice across in a sort of meaningful sense. You had fanzines and stuff like that. But again, a lot of times that was, if you're at the ground, you can get one of those. Otherwise, it's a bit more difficult. Certainly it was harder to act, where do I go for that? How do I even know it exists? If I'm not going to games, you might not. Whereas now, the internet has just brought everything together, everything closer. And I do think for a lot of people, and even for people who are going to the games all the time or do live in Manchester, I think that getting more people's opinions and people who are openly fans and openly want to support Manchester United, because in the past you'd listen to it on the radio, but if Alan Green or whoever it was commentating was in a bad mood, you could think that United were terrible that day. And then now you can listen to 20 different people's opinions on it and go, actually, I feel like I was there a little bit more. I feel like I'm hearing what actual fans at the ground think. I think that's a massive bonus. The only thing I would like, I know obviously United were good during social media a little bit, but think of the difference between 2013 and now in terms of Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything, how good it would be to actually see United win some proper trophies in the era of social media, because we've had to do so much defending Man United in the last sort of, just in the time I've been doing this. It'd be nice to actually be on the front foot for once and, being able to enjoy it properly and seeing that overwhelming social media wave coming at you. But yeah, I think it's overall a positive for sure.
Before we skip on to our classic questions, to wrap this little segment up, I have to ask you both, what are your predictions from the season? Where do you think United are going to end up?
Go on, Jay.
I'm getting carried away already, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. I know we were terrible last season and we finished 15th, and it was probably the worst season. It was certainly the worst season in my lifetime. We lost the finals to Spurs and it was just awful and all the rest of it. But we have made some good signings. I do think not having any European football is going to help us. I know the transfer window has still got a few weeks left, and if United could maybe buy another player, the sort was getting in a midfielder, Carlos Baleba, I think United could surprise people this season. I think we might even have a chance. Well, I'm going to say United can get Champions League football. I'm going to say it. I know. I'm slightly hedging my bets because you never know. Fifth spot might get you Champions League, but I think we can get Champions League football. I do, and I know that's a bold statement, but I don't think like United, even though we finished 15th last season, I don't feel like we underachieved. It wasn't like we should have got relegated and we managed to scrape to 15th. Like Manchester United should always be finishing higher. We had injuries that obviously massively affected us. We couldn't score goals, and we've gone out and bought 3 new attackers who all score goals. So it's like we've addressed a massive issue. And I know there's still other areas that we need to, and other teams around us have strengthened as well. But I just feel that Manchester United, we could. Seems mad to say this as a United fan. We could surprise people this season by finishing in the top 4.
Nice.
I want to be as optimistic as that, but then I don't know. I always worry with setting your expectations too high and then, comparing the reality to those expectations. Not that I think Jay will do that because Jay's more level-headed than that. But you see a lot of people on social media would be like, you know what? I think, call me crazy. I think United can push for Champions League. And then 12 games in when we're 9th, which is maybe about, they're going, this manager's got to go. This was a team capable of Champions League. And you're like, well, it wasn't. You just said it was because you were being optimistic and overly keen. And then now you're holding them to the real life people to these fake standards that you set up. So that's my only worry with that. Again, not worried about Jay doing that because, he's better than that. But I feel like we've had that in the past where it's like, well, you should have been getting this. Well, no, we shouldn't. We knew that was always optimistic. I think European football for sure, not necessarily Champions League. I think Europa League or Europa Conference, as much as I don't really love the idea of playing in the Europa Conference, I think that's about where we're at. I think we've probably got the 6th best team in the league, probably, or best squad in the league. If we overachieve a little bit, hopefully the injuries can stay away because we've got fewer games than other teams with no European football. Maybe we can push for a Champions League spot, like Jay said. Otherwise, if it's just an average number of injuries, team plays as well as it sort of should do, I think, somewhere in that 6th or 7th spot, personally. What do you think?
No, I'm 6th or 7th as well. My mum's like, she has very high expectations. She's like, well, with 3 signings, I'm expecting 4th now. And I'm like, no.
There you go.
No.
The thing is, though, like, you say 6th or 7th, which is, to be honest, even though I've said Champions League, is probably accurate. But 6th or 5th could be Champions League, can't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's such fine margins that when you say 6, people think, that sounds reasonable. When you say Champions League, people think, you're deluded. But that could be like goal
it's
difference.
One space different.
Goal difference could be the difference between finishing 6th and 5th. And I know it's not set in stone, but 5th might be Champions League. So you just don't know. I mean, there's so many ifs and buts, but it's mad that after the season we've had, the 3 of us are all sort of at least expecting Champions League football, which I suppose is testament as well to the transfer window we've had, which has been pretty positive.
Well, Mads, do you want to present?
Yeah, what do you think, Maddie?
I was sitting.
I wanted your prediction. I wanted your score prediction.
Oh,
the season prediction.
Pick a number.
Okay, this is gospel.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 5.
Okay.
5.
I'll take that.
5. I'm going to say 5. I don't think I've ever heard anyone do a prediction before and say just 5 or the number rather than 5th.
I love that.
Yeah, that's very original.
What position did we finish?
5 what? We don't know.
5.
5 anything.
We'll find out. the number 5 will be a part of where Man United finish and what they do this season. I like that.
Well, isn't Harry Maguire's 5 and he's come back from tough spots? Maybe you're onto something.
He'll be there. I agree. I like it.
Well, I've got to ask our classic question then. Should we start with Joe? What's your favourite failure?
So that's a big question, that, because there's a lot of things that have, people finding the positives in things that have gone wrong. Favourite failure? Actually, I'll tell you what it'd be. It's a personal one. When I failed university, so I did one course. I did a computer, it's called media technology, and I thought it was going to be doing stuff like this. And realistically, it was basically just a computer programming course with very little sort of media in there. It was an absolute nightmare, and I was completely out of my depth. So that was a nightmare, and I failed it. And then I've switched from that course to doing a television and radio course, which led me one way or another to doing this and talking about football and setting up cameras and doing all that sort of stuff. So me failing that degree, because if I'd have got that, yes, I probably would have been making 200 grand a year, doing some crazy programming somewhere, but it wasn't remotely what I wanted to do. So I am glad that I failed it.
What's yours, Jay?
I don't know. I suppose I was to follow sort of in Joe's footsteps. My educational path was a failure for about 10 years because I didn't pass college until I was 26. I went to uni when I was 27. I graduated when I was 30. So I certainly didn't do it easy. I went to college twice and dropped out. I resat a year and dropped out again. But like Joe was saying, everything I did led me to the career I had, which I'm quite happy with. And, I was a journalist for years, and I sort of did what I was hoping to do for quite a long time as well. So, yeah, when I was sort of 16, 17, 18, I was thinking, I don't know what I'm doing myself. And even when I was it wasn't until I was 23, 24 that I actually did something about it. And I think, those failures sort of helped me to realize, right, now I need to fix up. Now I need to do it. I know for a fact I couldn't have just gone into college straight from school. I wasn't ready. So I think I needed to sort of try it and fail and then go back a few years later, well, basically almost 10 years later, and then, eventually do what I needed to do.
Like how in Inside Out, like your emotions look like different characters.
Yeah.
What does failure look like to both of you?
As a living character.
Do you know what? I'm sick of getting asked this question. I get asked this question every day.
Jay's always getting asked that.
Mine looks like an in-and-out character, an inside-out character. I tell you what
mine looks like. Mine looks like the Labubu Spring Dream Zimono enamel doll ornament new vinyl face doll collection. That's what mine looks like from AliExpress at $146.94, because this is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So that's what failure looks like to me.
Perfect.
Jay?
What does failure look like to me?
You can just say me, Jay. Just say it. I know you want to. Just say it, man.
Key ring that my kids got me. That's mine.
Ah.
That's lovely.
There you go.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
What is that little key ring?
I don't know. They got it me ages ago. I can't remember what it is. It's some sort
of like Humpty Dumpty.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's terrifying, actually.
It is. It just, whenever I see it, it always makes me want to go for a run.
Away from it.
Yeah. Leave the keys at home and go for a run. So yeah, we'll go with that.
Nice. Well, we always do the exchange where everybody that comes on gets to suggest one thing to our listeners that they'd like them to experience. So something you're enjoying.
Ooh.
So, Mad and I can start whilst you think.
Great.
Mads, what would you like to dip into the exchange?
I'm going to exchange going back to the music you listened to as a teen. Because if you're like, avid music listeners where you find a new song, you add that to your playlist, and then you listen to all that you're currently listening to, you don't really go back and listen to the old tunes, and that nostalgia will just like unlock something in you, I think. So maybe it's stage sign.
Nice. Mine will be face masks. Just face mask.
What type of face mask?
Mud mask or a sheet?
Like the sheet ones, so that you don't get to. Yeah. So I got given one the other day where you put it on and then it bubbles. So it foams up in your face. It's like you put it on and it's mud, and it becomes like bubble bath bubbles, and it like tingles your face for like 5 minutes.
That's great.
And apparently it's meant to be good for your pores. It's yeah.
Do any face masks work? Do they work?
Yeah, apparently it's like if you use them daily, they actually do help.
If you never take them off.
One that frequent.
Nice.
Just leave it on forever.
Yeah, permanently on there.
It feels like a bit of placebo. Like I feel like I'm doing something good for my face if I have one on. But you can't actually like see the results immediately or anything. So who knows?
No.
Still worth it though, if it makes you feel good. Go on, Jay, what's yours?
I think, you know what, right? I think that those two things you both mentioned, experiencing those things via your kids, right, is a good thing, because I've had my oldest daughter is listening to the music that I used to listen to. So she's into 90s R&B and hip hop and stuff that I used to listen to when I was younger. and then my youngest daughter has done a face mask with me. So like
That's great.
doing those things by your kids, I think is quite exciting and enjoyable because it just adds to it. So yeah, I'd go with that one.
Me and Emma have talked about this before, actually. Sometimes you do have such a connection to the music that like your mum or your parent listen to. Like I love a lot of Keane, because my mum always used to listen to it in the car, and like the older take that stuff as well. You know, it's just got this place in my heart.
I feel so old. I was like 25, 28 when Keane came out.
Jay didn't listen to Keane because they're too new.
No, like.
Yeah. I was like,
okay, I feel like I need to defend myself.
You don't have to defend yourself. It's fine.
I also love like 80s stuff as well, you know.
Yeah.
There
you go, Jay.
There you go. Yeah, I was only in my 40s when the 80s were around.
Yeah, imagine. What would I say? I honestly think people aren't talking about how good tomatoes are enough. In just all of their forms, fresh with a little bit of salt on. The fact that they're just doing so much heavy lifting on a pizza, a bolognese, any Italian food. They're unbelievable. Bit of cream cheese on a bagel with a slice of tomato on there, BLT. I just think tomatoes go under the radar. And this time of year as well, just eat as many as you can.
Are they vegetables? Are they vegetables? Fruits. Right.
But here's the other thing. Almost every vegetable is a fruit.
Oh, is it? Right, okay.
Yeah, like courgettes are fruits, peppers are fruits, avocados are fruit. Because most vegetables they've got a seed in the middle, and that means they're a fruit. The only thing that are actually vegetables are stuff like potatoes and, cabbage. But other than that, it's all fruit.
What's your favourite way to consume a tomato? Do you have like a preparation style of choice?
No, that's a really good question. At this time of year, when they're really good, because you can cook them and make them nice any time of year, can't you? Because once you cook them, put a bit of olive oil and some garlic in there, you can smear it on anything. But I like a tomato sandwich. Have you ever had this before? Where it's like a BLT. Tomato? Yes, but so you get some bread, toast the bread on one side, ideally, like fry the bread on one side. Then you just get mayonnaise, a big thick slice of tomato, like half an inch thick, on the bread. Just mayonnaise, salt, pepper, and just have that. If it's a nice ripe tomato, honestly, unbelievable. I want one now, actually. I might go and get one. I might make myself one. Tomato sandwich.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what? I think try before you deny,
Yeah, exactly,
Me and Emma are shocked at this thing we've never heard of. But
I can see I've shocked you.
I'm a tomato fan.
Yeah.
I'm a tomato fan. I want to try this.
Yeah, give it a go, honestly. If you can get a nice, expensive heirloom tomato. Don't know when you go to, Tesco and they've got the single tomatoes in the little cups by themselves. Get one of those bad boys.
Just like that.
Slice that thing up. Yeah.
Joe, do you have a rivalry then with cucumber fans? Is there like beef between you and cucumber fans? Is it like... Does that go off sometimes when you've got like people who...
It can pop off a little bit. Yeah, it can do.
It gets a bit tasty, pardon the pun, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's any of the fruits that are any of the veg that are actually fruits.
Right.
There's real rivalry there. Yeah.
Right,
yeah. So
enough.
if if I'm down a dark alleyway somewhere and I see, like I said, a courgette fan, an aubergine. If I see an aubergine fan, honestly, they are finished.
It's going.
They're done. It's popping right off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. You know it is, Joe.
Yeah, I understand that, bro.
Yeah.
Wait. So if Manchester United is tomato, then what is Liverpool?
I guess
an aubergine.
Liverpool.
That's the age-old question every fan asks themselves.
The amount of times, if I had a penny for every time I've been asked that, I'd have one penny and I wouldn't know what to do with it. I would say if Man United had tomato, I think Liverpool fans are onions.
Yeah.
Personally,
right.
even though they're not,
onions.
even though they are a
vegetable.
Yes, there is an element of strength there. They are popular,
right?
But they will make you cry.
Yeah,
and you don't want to be around that. You just don't want to be around that.
Then what city?
City.
Go on, Jay.
City like Sprouts. No one likes him. No one wants to have
Sprouts.
him. Once a year, you've got to put with them, or twice a season, and then that's about it.
That's good. That makes sense, Motty. You like Sprouts.
This
You're
is
a
what
City
we
fan.
need. I want like a full league table of just vegetables.
Right, okay. We'll get on that. Well, now.
Do you know what I mean?
I think Arsenal are probably potatoes.
Right.
Okay.
Popular.
Okay.
A lot of them
Yeah.
boring.
Right.
Bland.
Chelsea.
Oh, Chelsea. Well, what's a fruit and veg that's got popular in the last sort of 15 years? Avocado.
Avocado.
Kale.
Yeah. Kale.
Avocado or
Kale's
kale.
a good one.
Yeah.
Kale.
Yeah.
And then Spurs.
Spurs.
Swede.
Spurs are like I was going to say parsnip, but Swede, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you leave it too long, it's just minging.
What have you done, Maddie? You've
This is a
unlocked
game
this
that
now.
I'll be thinking about this.
This
all
is
night
great
now.
content.
Thank you for
This.
that.
We should have this on Stretford Paddock. To be honest with you, we missed the
We
trick
should
here,
actually.
John. This is
Yeah,
the
we
sort of
should.
content we should be making.
I think we're going to run out of vegetables that we know, though. That's the only problem. That's
You
the
know
only
what I
thing
love?
Yeah, I'm
I
already
love
struggling.
that. I love that we've been able to like give you a football team and you immediately know what the vegetable is. Like you say, you've never thought about it
Yeah.
before. But are you sure about
No.
that?
But you know.
Yeah.
Because every
Who are aubergines then?
aubergine.
Villa.
Mate, it might be Villa, yeah. It might be Villa.
Just based on the colour, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it
there's
makes
a little
sense.
colour
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
there.
that's very good. Yeah, you could have aubergines, could be Villa. I think that
Yeah,
works.
for sure. Oh, I think one we have to do before we go for sure. What's Leeds?
Oh
Because
God.
they're such a
Ooh.
yeah.
Or what's the
Is
worst
there-
tasting?
Cauliflower.
Is there
Yeah.
a vegetable that poisons you? I think Leeds a mushroom that you found in a park.
Yeah.
A poisoned toadstool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't know what it's going to do to you.
Do you guys know I live near Leeds? Like it's my nearest city.
Is it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
the
I mean,
city
if I
is
I've
like-
got nothing against. By the way, I've got nothing against the city of Leeds itself.
Yeah.
It's just the football
Just not
ground
the
and the
football
people
team.
associated with it
Yeah.
that I can't stand.
But for some reason, everyone has a problem with as well.
Yeah.
It's not even just us.
Every single guest that we have on always gives us a little sign-off message before they go. It can be genuinely anything that you like. We have had hygiene tips. We have had dad jokes. It can be whatever you want. So again, me and Mads can go first to give you a bit of time to think. But Maddie, what would you like your sign-off to be?
Check yourself.
What, in what way?
I don't know.
Before you
check
before you
yourself.
wreck yourself. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
any way?
Yeah.
Mine will be if you want an oven pizza, an M&S oven pizza is actually pretty good.
It's not just a normal pizza, it's an M&S pizza.
Yeah, because I was in a restaurant the other day and the pizza was like £15. I was like, why is it? It's so expensive. I know it's in London, it's expensive. And then I had an M&S one yesterday and I was like, also good.
That's more like it.
More than half the price. Yeah. What about you both? What do you
Go on,
think?
Jay.
I wasn't expecting this. I think like you've sort of inspired me, Joe. I think just eat your veg.
Yeah.
Like I don't eat vegetables, and when you
There
talk
you
about
go.
a vegetable, not really. No, I don't.
Jay.
I know. I'm like, I think that's what's held me
Disappointment.
back in my life. So
Mm.
just eat your veg. But also check yourself and before you wreck yourself, and get an M&S pizza when you can.
Yeah, I'm going to stick to the cooking advice. Whenever you're making any sandwich or a burger, use more sauce than you think you need. Because it's very rare you have a sandwich that's too moist, but it's quite easy to have one that's too dry. There you go. There's my advice for
Wise
everyone.
advice.
Thank you.
Does that apply for butter as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so just always use
Just
more.
more than you think you need. Just not twice as much, but if you err on the side of a little dollop more, a little more dollop would be good.
Lovely. Well, Joe Smith and Jay Motty can be seen every single day on the Stretford. It is every day. I
Yeah.
feel like it's
Yeah.
every
No, it is.
day.
You're right.
It's
It is.
every day.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Every single day on Stretford Paddock. It's been a pleasure to have you both.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on. Thanks for inviting
It's
us.
been an absolute pleasure
And,
being on.
Yeah, it's been a good chat.
Of course.
You've been great, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
Maddie,
you.
Thanks, Amy.
And thank you for listening to another episode of Falling Upwards.
Bye.